Welcome to Rural Concerns, the only podcast brave enough to discuss high-end gaming PCs and parish council meeting minutes.
He's Chris Cantrell, I'm Sunil Patel, and the whole thing is held together by long-suffering our producer, James.
That's not a great sentence,
That's not a great bit of script, yeah.
Well, it's written like that. I'm not going to change it.
No, I'm not going to change it either.
Oh, no, I was rushing. This is the episode. I was rushing.
No,
I was doing it.
I think it's fine. I think
I was doing.
I think it paints a picture.
We don't. It's been pointed out to us that we don't say his names at all. So I was trying to rush it in. I was doing another podcast.
You've got nothing to apologize. I do not want another apology out of you.
This episode is full of apologies enough.
That's the best way I hear stories about, like parents where one of the parents speaks, like they're speaking two different languages to them at the same time.
Yeah, it's meant to be a third of the time in the second language, at least. Interactive language. Does yours speak two languages?
It can be a little posh boy when he wants something, but he started speaking fluent Geordie, which I find is really interesting because obviously Nicola's like half Irish. Her mum's from Manchester, and she does code switching. As in like she is from Ireland,
yeah,
and then she is from Manchester, like in just how she talks day to day.
Yeah,
it's like if you drop it, you stop her and be like, you're just speaking in a Manchester accent now.
Yeah.
And then she'll revert. Whereas I find it really interesting because she's from Northern Ireland. I'm from Bradford. We live in Cumbria.
Yeah.
And our son is picking up. It sounds like a Geordie accent to me, but it's not. It's like a border accent. But it's a very distinct, it's like, oh, dad, man, literally. He says that. So he's
Geordie. That is Geordie.
No, it is to us, but if you put them next to a Geordie, then it'd be like wildly different to them. But to us, it does sound the same. But I find it interesting because my son will not have any connections to the old words of his accent. Do you know what I mean? Like basically, I go through life and try and pick up, like basically our old Yorkshire farmer would speak and old turns of phrase and stuff. I think it's important that doesn't slip. So with that, it won't have a familial connection to it. So, and I just think it's interesting.
What's the rivalry like up there between the border accent and the Geordie one?
Well, there's like a split like between that and like the Cumbrian accent. And my village is actually quite unique in that you cross the bridge and you straddle county lines. So like my village is a dividing line between Cumbria and Northumberland. So you've got different council services and stuff like that. And when I moved...
Fascinating, yeah.
It is interesting.
It is bonus content, actually.
I was actually living on
this is a bonus.
In London, I was living between two on the road, which split two local authorities, and one had the lowest council tax in the country and the other one didn't. So there's a difference between like 700 quid a year and 1,500 quid a year. Was just a few houses.
Which one did you end up in?
Cheap one, Wandsworth.
Yeah.
But do you know, like these local rivalries, I guess like it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? They're not like shooting each other or anything, are they?
No, nothing like that. I had some like comment because I do the Village magazine, so I'm basically plugged into the pensioner community. And one of the guys who's like he'll send in like, I don't know, like the kind of indecipherable witty letters that are like, like the satirists. I don't know. Very like
frustrated writer.
Private Eye magazine type, the satirist's pen type pieces. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. But one of those guys made when I moved, because I was in Cumbria and then I moved to Northumberland. And one day I was late handing out the magazines because I shouldn't be doing this. I work weekends and I'm busy. But he went in and he said, now you've moved over the border. I assume you haven't picked up the Northumbrian work ethic. Like that, like a big slag on people from...
What does that even mean? I mean...
It's like he's saying that they're lazy.
What, just having been born maybe half a metre away from another house?
Yeah, it's nonsense. And as like a sort of guest Northumbrian, I was just like, I felt like, do you want to fuck off?
Yeah, well, that's why you're getting defensive about being Northumbrian, isn't it?
What? Why?
Because you got no choice.
Oh yeah. And it's. I find it interesting. It's like I'm in it, but I don't. Do you know what I mean? I feel when I go back into Yorkshire, you drive past a thing, it says you are now in Yorkshire, and there's like a white rose. I feel like it recharges my spirit. Do you know what I mean? As soon as you're over there. Do you feel like that when you go back to the fanciest city in the world, Bath?
Avon. Avon doesn't exist anymore. Avon Council.
That's the thing. A lot of counties got changed. Like Yorkshire, there is no Yorkshire. Yorkshire doesn't exist, Chris. There's no Yorkshire. Point out at me Yorkshire County on a map.
Oh, please don't trigger a load of letters.
There's no Yorkshire.
Why have you gone after this? We have just got over the absolute slagging that you did for Leeds Bradford, and now you're going right back in.
I got a real anti.
Both of you need to fucking calm down because you've been doxing people, Chris, like children.
Yes, I've been doxing children, but what about? Does it change? Does it make a difference if the child that I was doxing was cheating at a race? So there's two sides to every story.
Yeah, your side is not. It's not relevant.
Right.
Should we get on track and you can tell us why Yorkshire doesn't exist?
Because it's East. There's no Yorkshire. There's South Yorkshire.
East Riding. The ridings are the ancient area that was divided up, and you've got West Yorkshire and you've got East Yorkshire, and then the whole thing North Yorkshire. So you know what I mean. You know what I do. But together they are Yorkshire. And if anyone tries to come for us, we produce so many Olympic athletes, we will kick your head in.
That's not enough. That's not enough to fine. Well, I'm from Baines, which is a unitary authority.
Can I tell you one more? This is also an other boring thing, but I drive past all the signs, and it tells you I'm learning about my area because when you drive through the signs for the place, they put facts of information underneath.
Right. So
do you know, I call it, this is very disrespectful, but these are the sort of places where you wouldn't go to, I don't think, unless you lived there. So you drive through and it's one of those places if they've got a sign and underneath the sign they put a bit of trivia. So in my area, we've got Holt Whistle, the centre of Britain. That's what it says under the sign. And it is if you include Scotland and all of the islands and a decent chunk of Norway.
And don't really know what centre means.
Yeah, the middle. Come on.
It's not. It's in the top right.
Don't be facetious. Just let us have some. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do it again. I don't want to say it again because I could.
Is this a bonus episode?
No. This is a full far.
This is going out to the full public.
This is part of we're prepping now, James.
Because we've come in pretty hot on this.
We've come in hot. We've got in with the energy of a bonus episode.
And then we've immediately gone that James doesn't know what centre means, which is an astonishing claim.
It's honestly, it's our most aggressive. This is our most toxic masculinity charged episode yet. But right, one, I was driving through. So you've got Holt Whistle, the centre of Britain. You've got West Auckland, home of the first World Cup. That's genuinely interesting. I drove through a sign that said I was in County Durham, and it says underneath County Durham, the land of the Prince Bishops. And I was like, my mum was with me, and I was like, you need to get on that. Stop what you're doing. Immediately get that up on your phone. And basically, the Prince Bishops of County Durham, it was basically a separate country in ye on times. I need to look it up a bit more, but it was its own facility. It was its own authority that basically... Was
this pre-Henry VIII or post?
Well, it was definitely... It was post Big Bang.
Right.
Just a quick fact check. West Auckland and the World Cup. It's famously but erroneously named the home of the first World Cup. Yeah, they won the Sir Thomas Lipton Trophy and were able to keep it forever.
This Googling in the background stuff will stop our flow of nonsense. You know
it will. I apologise. They've then pawned the trophy. Carry on, Chris. No, carry on.
A lot of these facts are great for oh, that's a fact. Then you'll forget about it, and it is not interesting in any single way whatsoever. Prince Bishops. Let's stick on that.
Okay.
You don't know enough about Prince Bishops to talk about it. All right, but all those little facts that places have are completely yep, it'll be in one ear, out the other, not relevant. We live in a post-fact world.
What we don't need to be doing right now is taking what we are saying and checking it against a database.
Sorry, I'm being facetious here.
On this issue, I have a little bit of admin that I would like to address, which has been inspired by my wife because she was listening to our most recent episode. And she was up, she sort of wakes up at mad times. You know, I get up at like 7, 6:30, but she's been up for 2 hours. She gets up at 4. She can't, she's like a crazy lady. And we're trying to, it's something from when, you know, like a what's it from a hangover from when our son was very young and he just used to keep these mad hours. But now he sleeps until about 6, 6:30, but she's just up she can't get her mind out of the thing. Anyway, I woke up at 7 and she's like waiting for me at the end of the bed. And she's like, please, can you stop slagging people off? I said, what do you mean? She said, the people of Darlington. You owe them an apology because in one of the recent episodes, I really went 2 boots in because I had a slightly shaky preview in Darlington. And I used that inference to mean that it wasn't my fault, that it was the people of Darlington's fault and they didn't deserve culture. And she said that might not be my finest hour and I should offer a full-throated apology to the people of Darlington.
Is that it? Was that it then? Your apology was you saying your wife told you to apologise?
I don't know.
Would you like to do a proper apology?
Do you want her to send you a notes?
Do you want to write it in her notes app?
Yeah.
And post it out?
I think I've sort of the people of Darlington know that I should have done an apology, so I think they're fine with that now. I will go back to Darlington to...
you haven't even done the apology yet. You just said the people of Darlington know that I want to do an apology. Where is this apology?
It's coming. I'm just building on it. I have an issue where I struggle to apologise for things.
I mean, I don't think you need to apologise.
No, I want to apologise to Darlington. I really do.
Just do it. Just quick one. Just say sorry.
I'm sorry, Darlington. It wasn't you. It was me.
Why are you shouting at them?
I didn't know I don't know. I'm just furious all of a sudden. I didn't know the show well enough. I will be. If you will have me back, Darlington, I'll be back.
Wow.
If you don't...
You should be a politician.
Are you the Fonz?
Does the Fonz not apologise?
Yeah, he literally can't say sorry. Like the way you can't say facetious.
Don't start thinking you're the Fonz either.
All I'm doing is joining 2 dots that were laid out for me next to each other.
You're the Yorkshire Fonz.
Hey.
Happy days.
Mr. Fonz. And I'll tell you what, that's not the only similarity because I do most of my meetings in toilets with teenage boys.
Tip Fonz.
It's a mad show when you look back into it. How old was he meant to be? Was he meant to be a teenager as well?
No.
He was older,
yeah. He was like a 20-something.
Vagrant.
He used to hang out.
Yeah,
vagrant.
He lived in the shed, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, it's fine. It's a mentor-mentee relationship a lot of the time. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm self-employed. I'm also an artist. I'm an artist, so my life is furthered by, by experiences.
This is the same tone as the Darlington apology.
I tell you what, this is London. This is why people just live in London. Their art just dips because they don't have they have experiences that are like, I'm going to M&M World. I'm going to this brand new restaurant that everyone else in London's going to. That's not a rich life.
Yeah. All right. Shall I do a cultural highlight then?
M&M World's not a restaurant, Chris.
M&M World is a restaurant. Disney restaurant, M&M World.
I'll tell you, if you
M&M soup to start.
A table for 2, please. You're
tell you what,
talking to the green M&M. Table for 2. Table for 2.
If you're wearing a little, like napkin tucked in, do you know what I mean? Anything's a restaurant. But Sunil, that segue of me saying that London is a cultural vacuum is a great way to talk about your cultural highlight. What's going on in London that I personally love and visit quite frequently?
There's a resurgence of bowls happening in London at the moment. A lot of people playing bowls.
Like Crown Green?
Yeah, basically a gentrified bowls green recently. Has a nice bar serving loads of lagers and cocktails. And then you go and have a little bowl on the green. It's lovely. Because the old people all died off. They stopped playing.
Oh, that's a bit sad, but I'm glad it doesn't mean that it's stopped.
Yeah, I got fucking smashed.
Do they make you wear the very, very flat shoes?
No,
or are
you can
you
wear any
allowed to
shoe
wear
you
any
want,
shoes?
actually.
Or they have relaxed that since I was a teen then?
Very relaxed. You can wear any shoe you want. You can pretty much throw it anywhere you want around the green as well.
But watching people do bowls proper, they just look, everything about it looks like they're so smooth.
Yeah.
The balls are so like, I don't know, the balls look magical, don't they? Like, and the way that they glide.
They take it seriously there, whereas I'm doing it overarm.
Best to shut it down, really, isn't it?
No.
Rather it be remembered as with quaint nostalgia as a good time from the past that absolutely ruined by you overarm.
No. Let the new generation come in, chucking it overarm, drinking Aperol spritzes.
And do what they want, yeah.
Also, there's a new Cornetto in shops, which is nice.
Oh, go on.
It's called Cornetto Soft Serve. It's new to me. I haven't seen it, but just got it, and it solved the problem of ice cream getting hard when it's frozen.
Okay.
So it comes out of the fridge soft. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that sounds it. But with soft serve ice cream, is it not like flavourless?
No. This one has flavours in it. It's like a Mr. Whippy, but you can get it out of your freezer whenever you want.
Okay, that does sound pretty interesting. Presumably, so if that's a new product that you're getting in London now in 2024. Presumably, it'll be hitting the countryside in the December 2028 window. You know what I mean? That's when I'll get it.
What are you eating at the moment? Ice cream sandwiches.
We're eating it. It's churned on the farm, fresh out of a milk pail.
Oh, that sounds quite nice, actually.
No, not even cold. We're getting it straight from the teats.
Hot, sweet.
Our ice cream is straight from the teat.
It's body temperature.
In between sucking it in, we get a vanilla pod and crunch it down, and we're like, "This is as good. This is as good. This is summer."
It's easy to romanticize that kind of life, isn't it?
frothy hot milk, unpasteurized, full of bits.
Actually, I wanted to ask you this: can you go to like a dairy farm and get some unpasteurized milk whenever you want?
I believe that I can. We have a dairy farm that's like open to the public to selling things on the top road. But to get on it, you need to take quite a severe left off a busy A road. So I'm too scared, so I don't go in. Right.
Well, what you need to do is, as you approach that turning, indicate and start slowing down at the same time.
No, because last time I did that, I accidentally put my foot on the accelerator and sped up into the corner.
Why?
So, I don't know.
No, excited for your crunchy milk in your mouth.
Yeah, all the parasites dead on the top. I was like so excited. But I tell you this, do you remember I did that thing where I was like slagging off the wife's semi-skimmed milk thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like Nicola, she'd gaslit us all into thinking that semi-skim milk was better than whole milk for years.
Yeah.
And then I've been pushing back, getting 2 milks. But now she's conceded that it's the better milk, and we are a whole milk Blue Top family. And I'll tell you what, us moving to Blue Top milk coincides with the fact that my son drinks milk all the time.
This is a win for the podcast and your family.
The way that I articulated it, the thing that got it, it's like a logic victory. I told her that he's a growing boy, so he can't have semi-skimmed. He needs whole because he needs to grow up. He needs to get big.
That's right.
So I dominated intellectually, and now the family is a Blue Top milk one, and it's the closest I've got to a win with her in 12 years.
How big are you going to grow this boy?
I'm gonna go him as big as he'll grow. You know, like we're a goldfish, and you're like, just shouldn't be that big in its tank.
Yeah. Basically, you want him to smash up.
B, obviously. Stop saying the name.
Sorry, Joe. Go edit that out.
Eddie, you've got to put the bleep in. You've got to put the bleep in. Sunil just said the name of the villain.
B, obviously.
Who cheats? He cheats. That's it. That's all. Deserves everything that's come into.
Out? Because I told you we got some feedback saying that we don't edit anything out.
As a peek behind the curtain, I do edit some stuff out, and I did bleep that guy's name. But I leave in you saying we should edit that out and make it about something much more innocuous. So you seem absolutely paranoid.
Yeah.
You're
Shout
like,
out to,
I went to the IMAX today. Can we edit that out, please?
I don't want people knowing my movements, do I? They can follow me then.
If they can see the pattern.
I think, if I had a map of London, it's like you go to 3 places. You go Pizza Express, a cinema, and a house. I think I could start to zone that in.
And I go to the IMAX a lot, yeah, but there's a lot of blockbuster films out at the moment.
I know, but if I could zone it in. I believe I could begin to zone it in. I'd be like, what sort of...
I could do the same for you.
Yeah, garage on the A road.
Speeding past the milk farm, going straight home.
Terrified of turning into the milk farm. Yes, James?
Just lure him in with a trail of gin cans.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not having that. He is absolutely not having that.
Wow, that was
No. I think it's fun to have a laugh at that, but this is people's lives. And we've got to do a job soon. We've got to there's going to be a run-in with this guy, and we've got to be prepared for it. If I say him on his own, I'm going to try and record it for this podcast and confront him. And I think I'm probably the best, even though the other people in the group have probably done more of the tracking and stuff like this and are reaching out to the police officers in the community and sending polite letters. I think if they want someone to confront this guy, and it should be me, because we talked about this before, stand-up comedians are used to having more adrenaline in their bodies. So I think I'd keep relative calm in quite an aggressive, high-pressure situation.
I think you'd go quite red.
I think I'd go real, I'd have a big red face, and I'd say sorry. I'd end up saying sorry to him.
I think you'd go red and then get white patches on the red.
Like one of those hams that you get in, sandwich ham.
Yeah, or you'd look like a global hypercolour T-shirt.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But what was I going to say? Someone said, "Oh, I tell you what, I haven't put it in the letters document, but somebody. Do you remember we were talking about that thing?" And I was like, "I don't know what it is." Quoits.
Oh yeah.
Someone from nearby me says, "Been listening to the podcasts," and he said where he lives, and it's really close to my house. He's saying, he says, "I think you live in the same area as we do," and just FYI, we have a quotes class once a week on a Monday if you want to come down. And I'm like,
what is it though?
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you want to see it in action. It's like it looks.
Spell it for me again.
Is it QUOITS?
I typed it into my search bar and it came up with quotes.carwow.co.uk.
I need to find his email address. His name's Ed, and it's called Quoits, which is QUOITS.
Quoits, a ring of iron. Yeah, it's like a game you play in the garden.
So he's invited me to go down for a sort of taster of that, and I was like, really? My initial reaction was, do you know when someone asks you to do something, is like, oh, like feels weird, feels like panic, like I shouldn't be doing that. But now I'm like, no. This is exactly why we set this podcast up, to further the knowledge of the countryside business. This is a dictionary definition of countryside business. So I'm definitely going to go. I'll learn something about a sport that I haven't played. I might come away with some new best friends.
Also, this game has different rules depending on which county you're playing it in.
Does it?
Yeah, so you can start fights with it.
Yeah, good. As long as it continues to strengthen divisions, like county. As long as it keeps the county line divisions going strong, then
Absolutely.
I think that's good.
Absolutely correct. Good. Well, I'm glad you're going to play. I hope you report back. Maybe batter someone.
Yeah.
I looked away for a second again.
You have to keep an eye on him, James. You know that.
Is this your father-in-law's tent still going strong?
Yeah.
What's he doing? He's putting a tent up in your garden.
The kids are playing baseball, and he's bought them like a golf practice net to hit the ball into for baseball.
Oh, that's nice. And you're going in intermittently to help.
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
Does he know we're making a podcast?
Could you tell him that this is urgent business podcast time? Do you know what I mean? Right, and just
there's an audience waiting for this.
Yeah,
that wasn't a joke.
I met somebody. I did a preview in Manchester where the people are much more culturally aware in other places of the country per se. They are much more refined.
Okay.
But she was saying, her name was Ruth, and she was saying that she loves this podcast and saves it up for when she's going on a walk. And she listened to the Choose Your Own
Obviously.
And apparently her husband said that I could write one of those as a job. So
we can't use that word. We can't use those words.
You can't use those words. So
a decide your destiny quest.
Yes, that's a good one.
Is it? All right, yeah.
It's better. It's different words to the other one, so it's
right.
great.
Yeah.
So that's good. People do like it.
Thanks, Ruth's husband. You've just damned us to 20 more episodes like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you were thinking giving out that. You can't compliment people in the same way you can't,
it's like,
encourage them.
Yeah. Feeding the narcissism it's a disaster, really. So much of live comedy is just like, tell you what, I'm about to go to the Fringe. I've never basically all performers to some degree have this big narcissistic streak that is probably more pronounced than it is in most of the population. I believe narcissism is just part of the human condition, isn't it? But it's something that is bigger and smaller depending on who the person is and manageable in most cases. But I remember being at the Edinburgh Fringe and it's a real pressure cooker environment to drop a narcissist in, sort of unprepared, do you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I remember as well, because I'm a little bit older now, and you go up and you meet the kids that are sort of doing it for the first time and stuff. And I feel very parental. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, you're absolutely broken in your little narcissistic brain.
Oh, you are like the Fonz more than we thought.
Yeah, exactly.
You moved into their garage.
I moved into the garage, you know. That's
yeah, but imagine we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't delusional at some level when we started.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
We wouldn't be anywhere near. But yeah,
I suppose that judging that between narcissism, delusion, and ambition, that's a sort of soft spot that I've been working in for a long time. But you Google, because I would say because we put out like 15 episodes, we're in the top 5% of all podcasts in the world. And you're like,
that's simply because we keep going.
Simply because we haven't stopped. And that is not a textbook definition of success. but I think it's kind of as close as you get in this world. We just haven't stopped. What should we do? What do you want to do, James? Should we talk about another thing, or should we?
I reckon. What's the next letter?
Okay, this is a letter from Flux. Great name. Now they say hello. Well, they don't say hello to us. They say hi, Chris.
But the email address is christopher@alovelytime.co.uk. So
using your work email for this.
Well, it's just a dedicated email, and
fair enough. Yeah, okay.
I'm not really part of the.
You're not going to give me a login for that either, are you?
You don't need it. I'll filter it. You'll get the best of the best.
Oh, thank you. You're like a prison warden. Okay.
Yeah. If you are sending Sunil nudes, I will intercept them.
Right. Hi, Chris. As you were talking about VR experiences, have you guys ever tried naughty VR stuff? Many thanks for entertaining me on my walks. I presume Sunil is an AI, which is the reason the nationwide advert got pulled from telly. Best wishes, Flux. Where do we start with that?
Where do we start? We need to circle back on VR.
Right, let's circle back on VR.
That's obviously the sooner the better for me. It's an issue that we need to come back to frequently.
I absolutely don't know anything about naughty VR stuff. I have to hold my hands up and say I'm an innocent in all this. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Me too. We don't have... that would necessitate a home VR setup, wouldn't it? Unless this place is where you...
Just a headset.
Yeah, but where are you getting a headset from?
PlayStation has one, doesn't it?
The PlayStation one, there's the Meta Quest.
So, James, can we ask you then, because you're clearly a bit more up to speed, what's going on with the mucky stuff on the VR?
I haven't used it for mucky stuff, but I've heard that it can be done.
How'd you do that? How'd you do it?
Well, it would be. I guess it would be filmed on a 360 camera or a 180 camera, and then it would just look like you were in the room with whatever was going on, and you could look around, so you could
Yeah, but if you look down, that's not yours.
If it was taken from a POV and you look down, it wouldn't be yours. No,
it'd be someone else's. That would freak you out.
It would be whoever had filmed it.
And I'd just be awkwardly looking around at the fixtures and fittings. Do you know what I mean? Like trying to figure out if it's America or England. Like, have they got a cookwares kettle in the background? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can just look around that while someone's in front of you just chatting.
It wouldn't be live, I think. Although maybe they can do live stuff, but I
assume that's in the future, isn't it?
Yeah. Although, actually, you know what? You could do it live. I watched football games live on a 180.
Did you?
Yeah, they stopped doing it now. It was really annoying. It was really good. It was like being sat in a stadium.
Oh, right, not on the field.
With a live football game. No, but you could have pitch side cameras and stuff. You don't want it to move around too much. You get sick.
Sick, yeah. Go on, Chris. Sorry, Flux has also sent something else.
Flux has sent us, I'll forward it on after, but a video, a VR internet speed test.
What?
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. It took me a while to get my head around what I was looking at, but...
What, so you're in the fibre optic cable?
No, like this silly bugger sent us a video. He's wearing a headset.
Yeah.
He's narrating it as well. He's wearing a headset.
Is he clothed?
He's as far as I can say, is it a space station? And he's getting his internet speed, he's projecting his internet speed test on a wall in the space station.
I think this person is trying to lure us into a naughty VR setup.
I don't want any of that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going on that. I want to do what Sunil did in Hoxton wanted, which was like smash goblins. Holborn.
Yeah, smash goblins and skeletons and that.
I want to smash goblins and skeletons. And that's it. And I think we should turn the rest of it off, really, in my opinion. Well, maybe not all of it, but you know what I mean.
I think it'd be nice to get like VR, when it's integrated into just like normal glasses. You can record everything that's happening in front of you if you want, but you can also like get maps and Google stuff on there.
Did you ever have a go on Google Glass?
No. I would love one. I remember when they were, when they do like technical demos of what it could look like. I remember watching for the Google Glass on a Microsoft augmented reality thing, and it showed a world where you've got these glasses on, you're talking to a customer services person or a plumber or an electrician or whatever.
Friends.
And they're friends, as we know them. And they are looking through your eyes through the glasses and can interact with what you're seeing in real time. So they can circle, like the wire and be like, snip this one, that sort of thing to help you through. Obviously, there's lots of mad implications. Thinking about that now logistically, I can see why it's very cool. But I know that basically, if you're a company, you can't be saying cut that wire and the other one kills you because it's too high risk.
But we forget the other aspect of it is that it will bring more friends into your life.
What, digital friends?
Yeah, online, yeah. But that'd be good for you, wouldn't it? You can just put your headset on.
But my PCs, I did a bit of online gaming with my friends, but my PC's imploded, so it's just like...
Yeah, but a lot of this processing will be done in the cloud, so you just need a good internet link.
Yeah, like this, what was it, the Stadium, Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Discontinued now. Nobody wants it.
NVIDIA have got one as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they do.
That's too much. We're not talking about that anymore.
If you don't know, NVIDIA produce graphics cards, high-end graphics cards. If you don't know what they are, you need to Google them and get yourself on Steam.
It's also one of the biggest companies in the world right now.
Let's have the other letter. This is getting too much.
Anyway, sorry, yeah. What do you want me to address the bit where Flux accuses me of being an AI?
Yeah.
I'm not. Or am I? The Nationwide advert got pulled from the telly because other banks complained about it, and then I think they changed some of it so that it could go back on telly.
Not because Sunil was an AI.
Not because I'm an AI.
So we got another letter that's actually a letter from my friend Shona, who is absolutely livid she hasn't been mentioned on this podcast before because
she needs to get a skill.
Over my over the time that we've been doing this, I've mentioned in passing quite a lot of friends, and she's just absolutely furious that she's not been in the list. She's got in touch off the back of producer James saying that Leeds and Bradford ain't really a thing, it's just part of Leeds. Obviously,
yes.
A huge amount of controversy off that one, and we had to do a lot to calm it down. So she says, "Hello, boys.
Hello.
Despite your podcast having no discernible objective or structure, I can't wait for each episode."
Chris, do you even bother editing these letters before you read them out?
Sometimes I do, but I
You
think you can
edited
tell.
out 9 words from that sentence.
Yeah, but I think it's good to say, and I just think on behalf of all of us, Shona, fuck off. No, it is nice that she's listened, but there is a structure, and it does have an objective. So she's wrong. So she's already wrong.
Good defense, Chris.
Yeah. So Shona continues. She says, following on from your offensive discussion of Bradford and Leeds, I thought I'd supply some local knowledge, which Chris is clearly lacking.
Good to hear.
The bottom end of Tong is Leeds and borders Fulneck and Holbeck. There was some mad beef as well, where some of Tiersol's postcodes got changed from Leeds to Bradford. There's a point near the Odeon where there are 2 houses next to each other, and one has a BD postcode and one has an LS postcode.
That's what I said.
But then again, there are also parts of the lower end of the lakes that are part of the Bradford Metropolitan District. So producer James can suck it.
So it's good that part of Bradford is the bottom of a lake. Silt.
And Saltaire is Bradford, and it's also a World Heritage Site. Also, Oprah was filming in Little Germany last year or something. Oprah! And Shona finishes by saying, P.S. Fulneck is near Pudsey. My cousin went to private school there, full of rich motherfuckers. That's Pudsey for you.
I've got to say, I don't really care about what James said about Leeds and Bradford.
Right.
Fair enough.
But I think it is important to be right, to be right and to be wrong, isn't it?
No, it is, yeah. I mean, like local rivalries like this don't really make sense to me. They only really matter if you're arguing over pastry or cake products.
I just thought it was I genuinely did think it was part of it, and then
I'm surprised it kicked off so much from
Yeah. So basically, what we've learned today is that everybody's bloody apologising. That's apology accepted, producer James.
Okay.
I've got nothing to apologise for yet.
Apology accepted. Thank you for listening to Rural Concerns. If you enjoyed this show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. For much, much less than the going rate for 20 B&H cigarettes, you can get fortnightly bonus episodes, blog posts, and access to our Discord community, which is known as The Creamery.
Ooh. I mean, 20 B&H is like, what, 18 quid if you get it at WH Smith's? That's absurd.
Yeah, exactly. That's like 4 months' worth of support.
Disgraceful. Alternatively, you can drop us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It will help us game the algorithm. And as long as it's 5 stars, you can say what you want.
For example, this is from Apple. Joe, a good laugh. I look forward to hearing how Chris's house refurbishment goes. Like Escape to the Chateau, but with more dog piss.
Please note, if you give us a review below 5 stars, then we'll immediately stop doing the podcast.
Yeah, we'll just unplug everything and sell it all. That's it.
We
We're
won't
done.
talk to each other again either.
I don't think we should give people that opportunity.
No, you can, if you are listening, you can end this podcast tomorrow by giving us a 4-star review.
End it? Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's it.
that'll do
That's it. If we're not creating the funniest, most perfect podcast, then there's no point doing it. I'll get on way. I'll stop caring.
I wish you'd said this months ago.
Best thing you can do is give us 3 stars and subscribe to the Patreon. So we have to keep doing it, but no one's listening to it.
Yeah, come on, this is the only thing. Ideally. Come on now. Rural Concerns was edited by Joseph the Lotto Lout Reincarnate Burrows. And is produced by Egg Mounted for a Lovely Time Productions.
Our artwork is by Poppy Hillstead. Our music is by Sam O'Leary. And here's an inspirational quote from 50 Cent. You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. And if you got a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth because I'll break your face.
I would like to bring this episode... Do you know what? I should have a gavel to finish the episodes. Don't you think?
Just do the outro.
Let's bring this episode to a close. Here, here. Bong.
Okay.
Fine.
Like
But what's the sound? What sound does a gavel make?
I'm thinking it's like there's a metallic element to it, so it's like bong.
That's a big bell.
That's a big bell. The end of the episode bell. Bong.
Yeah, edit that in, would you?
Yeah. I'll put it in when he goes, there's a gavel. Bong.
And every episode ends that way from now on. Bong. Like that.